I was just thinking before we started recording, like, seriously, has anyone else ever felt like they're just like walking on eggshells at work
Oh, yeah.
because of their boss?
Totally.
It's like you never know what's going to set them off.
It's true.
And it's exhausting. So today we're diving deep. We're really getting into this topic that I know is a silent struggle for so many people out there.
Yeah.
We're talking about narcissism.
Narcissism. Oh, yeah.
In the workplace.
Big one. Yeah.
And thankfully, someone sent us this guide. It's
Does-
like a survival manual for anyone who's ever had to deal with a narcissistic boss,
Love it.
which, let's be honest, is probably a lot of us.
Right.
So our mission today is to really equip you with some practical strategies, not only to survive, but to actually thrive
Thrive. Yes.
in spite of that narcissistic boss.
I love that.
So we're going to be talking about setting boundaries,
Boundaries. Yes.
managing expectations,
So important.
and most importantly, how to protect your own mental well-being.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
Gotta take care of yourself.
You know what really struck me?
What's that?
In this guide,
Yeah.
they use this phrase. They talk about feeling the weight
Oh, yeah?
of a narcissistic boss.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, that is so powerful. Have you ever worked with someone who they just suck all the air out of the room? Like they just need constant praise, constant attention.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like their energy.
Like a black hole.
It is. It's like their energy just consumes everyone else's. And you're right. You really feel the weight of that presence, that need for attention.
And I think it's so easy to get caught up in that
Absolutely.
and start like doubting yourself and your own ability.
Yeah.
So, it's really important to remember, like, first of all, we're not here to diagnose anybody.
Right. We're not clinicians.
Right. We're not mental health professionals. But what we can do is look for some of those red flags, like the guide talks about.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That insatiable need for admiration, that sense of entitlement, taking credit for other people's work.
Classic signs.
Classic signs, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, that sounds exactly like my boss,
Right.
you are not alone.
You are not alone. And there are things you can do about it.
Exactly. So the guide talks about, the power of setting boundaries.
Boundaries are huge.
And I think for a lot of people, that feels really intimidating,
Oh, yeah.
especially like with your boss.
Absolutely.
Like, how do you tell someone who's used to getting their way?
Right.
Yeah.
Especially someone who might be higher up on the, on the power dynamic scale.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it can feel really intimidating. But the thing is, it's not about being confrontational. It's really about protecting your own space.
Yeah.
And your own energy. It's about self-preservation in a lot of ways. And there are ways to do it that aren't, aggressive.
Exactly.
Or, disrespectful at all.
Yeah.
There's a really great technique that the guide mentions called the broken record method. Are you familiar with that one?
I'm not. Tell me more.
Okay. So this is so useful, especially when you're dealing with someone who's really pushy
Oh.
or who tries to wear you down, It's all about calmly repeating your boundary, no matter how many times your boss tries to push back.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So for example, let's say your boss keeps piling on more and more work, even though you've clearly said, I am at capacity.
Right.
You can just say, as I mentioned, I'm unable to take on any more tasks right now. I need to focus on completing my current priorities.
Yeah.
And no matter how much they try to guilt you,
Oh, yeah.
or manipulate you, you just keep repeating that same phrase.
Broken record.
Like a broken record.
That's where it comes from.
Exactly. It's about consistency
I love it.
and firmness.
It's so practical. The broken record method.
It really works.
So the guide also talks about this idea of managing expectations.
Yes.
Which, I don't know, when I first read that,
Yeah.
it kind of felt a little bit like manipulative, you know?
You can see how you would think that. It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
But I think, if you think about it more as a strategy
Right.
for self-preservation.
Okay.
Because, narcissistic bosses, they thrive on feeling superior, feeling in control. And so if you understand their motivations and their expectations,
yeah.
it can really help you anticipate their needs.
Okay.
And, maybe sidestep some of those blow-ups.
Right.
That can just totally derail your day.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like playing the game a little bit, but, you got to do what you got to do to survive.
Do you have, like, any examples of, like, how to do that?
Oh, for sure.
Like in a practical way.
Okay, so remember, it's not about being inauthentic. It's really about framing things in a way that resonates with that boss's mindset.
Okay.
So let's say you have this brilliant idea for a project.
Right.
But you know your boss.
Yeah.
They love to take credit.
Oh, I know the type.
Right, we all do. So instead of presenting it as your own, try saying something like, I was thinking about your suggestion from the other day,
Oh, smart.
and it inspired me to come up with this.
Oh, so you're kind of like feeding their ego?
A little bit, yeah. You're basically framing it in a way that makes them feel like, yes, I'm the genius behind this.
Right, exactly.
But you're still getting your idea across.
Wow. Okay.
Do you see how that works?
That's brilliant. But I got to say, it feels a little bit like
It's a game, yeah.
playing chess.
A little bit strategic,
Right.
but it can save you a lot of heartache,
Yeah, that's true.
So it's worth thinking about.
No, absolutely. I'm definitely going to be trying that one.
Good.
But honestly, like all of this sounds exhausting.
It is tiring.
Right. Like even just talking about it, I'm like, oh my gosh.
You're carrying that weight around.
So it's no wonder that the guide really emphasizes this importance of self-care,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like how do you stay grounded?
Self-care is everything when you're in this kind of environment.
Yes.
What are some of the things that have worked for you, like in dealing with difficult personalities?
Well, I think it's so easy to get caught up
Uh-huh.
in that negativity
Absolutely.
and to start feeling like just drained all the time.
Yes.
And so for me, self-care is really about like finding those things that bring you joy
Yes.
and that replenish your energy
100%.
and making them a non-negotiable part of your routine.
Yes. Make it a priority.
So for me, that looks like, taking a walk in nature,
Love that.
listening to music, reading a good book, just anything that kind of helps me to disconnect.
It's like hitting the reset button.
Exactly.
It's so important.
And it's so easy to let those things slide
Oh, so easy.
when you're feeling stressed.
Especially.
But that's actually when you need them the most.
Exactly. You got to make time for yourself.
Yeah.
No matter what.
I think about it like it's like you're carrying this heavy backpack
Mm-hmm.
full of rocks.
I love that.
And every time you do something for yourself,
Yeah.
you're taking one of those rocks out.
Oh, that's such a good visual.
And eventually,
Yeah.
your backpack's going to feel a lot lighter.
You're going to be able to stand up straighter.
Exactly.
Yeah. Love that.
The guide also talks about communication
Communication is key.
being like a key tool
It's so important.
for dealing with a narcissistic boss.
Absolutely.
Do you have any tips for like how to communicate effectively
Oh, for sure.
when you're dealing with someone who might not be the best listener?
Right. So the key here is to be clear, be concise, and try to keep the emotion out of it.
Okay.
It's not always easy, but
Right.
stick to the facts. Focus on solutions and use I statements.
Oh, I statements. That's a good one.
It really helps you express your needs without sounding like you're blaming them
Okay.
or attacking them.
Got it.
So, for example, instead of saying, you always dump work on me at the last minute,
Okay, don't say that.
try saying, I feel overwhelmed when I receive multiple urgent requests at the end of the day. Could we find a better way to manage workflow?
So it's about like depersonalizing it
Exactly.
and finding that common ground.
Yes, and remember, timing is everything.
Oh, timing.
Choose your battles wisely. Don't try to have a serious conversation
Right.
when they're already in a heightened state.
Yeah, that's good advice.
It's like trying to reason with a tornado.
Yeah, you're just going to get swept away.
You're going to get swept away. It's not going to end well.
I love that analogy.
It's true, though.
So now for the million-dollar question
The big one.
that I'm sure is on everyone's mind.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Is it possible to change
Ooh.
a narcissistic boss's behavior?
That's the question, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, look, you can't force someone to change,
Right.
but you can influence the dynamics around you
Okay.
by modeling positive behavior,
Uh-huh.
promoting collaboration, focusing on solutions.
Yeah.
It creates this ripple effect
Oh, I like that.
that can really shift the energy
Okay.
within the team.
So it's about creating like pockets of sanity,
Exactly.
even in a challenging environment.
You got it. And who knows, you might inspire other people
Oh, that's a good point.
to do the same and slowly start to shift that whole culture.
That's so powerful.
It can happen.
So to recap for everyone listening, set those boundaries, manage those expectations,
Like a pro.
like a chess grandmaster.
Yes.
Right? Prioritize self-care.
Hmm.
Those rocks in the backpack are real.
Take those rocks out.
Get them out of there.
One by one.
Yeah. Communicate strategically.
Be smart.
Be smart.
Be intentional.
Right. And remember, you have more control
You do.
than you think.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I think even in the most difficult work environments,
Oh, yeah.
there's always an opportunity for growth.
100%.
And the challenges that you face with a narcissistic boss
Yeah.
can actually teach you incredible resilience,
Resilience. Oh, my gosh. Yes.
communication skills,
Essential life skill.
self-awareness.
Knowing yourself.
Right. And all of that's going to serve you well
Oh, yeah.
throughout your life.
In all areas of your life.
So you're basically becoming a ninja master
A ninja master. I love it.
of navigating difficult personalities.
That's a good way to put it.
Right.
Yeah, you're leveling up.
And that's a superpower worth having.
It really is. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive today.
This was great. Really enjoyed it.
And to everyone listening, remember, you're not alone,
You got this.
and there is hope.
Absolutely.
We'll see you next time
Until then.
for another deep dive.
Bye, everyone.